Here is 10 JavaScript array functions in 3 minutes. Filter allows you to create a new array of elements that pass a certain condition in a provided callback function. Basically, it just filters all of the undesired elements from an existing array. You can start with creating a new array, then by applying a filter function to each element in the array, you define how you want to filter it. In this case, every student must have a grade higher or equal to 70. It is going to return a brand new array with filtered results. Next is forEach. This function does not return anything. It is used primarily for looping. For example, you can use it to log every element of the array. Includes returns true or false, depending on whether an element is contained inside the array. Simply provide an element to this function, and it will return true if the element is inside the array, or false if it's not. Find. Unlike includes, this function checks if one of the elements inside the array meets the provided condition and returns the element itself. It will loop over every element of the array until it finds an entry that satisfies the callback condition, and then it will return the element itself. Alternatively, it will return undefined. Sum function checks if at least one element passes the specified condition. In this case, I check if at least one student has a grade equal to 0. It's going to return true. Every is similar to sum function, except it checks that all array entries satisfy the specified condition. In this case, it will return false in the first example because one student has a grade equal to 0, and true for the second example because every student got a grade lower than 100. The reduce function takes a callback that has two arguments. The accumulator, I'm going to call it total, and the current, which is going to be an iterated array entry. Every iteration passes the return value of a previous iteration to the accumulator. Another argument for this function is an initial value for the accumulator, which is going to start from 0. After the final iteration, it's going to return the total sum of all student grades. Now, this doesn't really make sense to find the total sum of all the grades, so we're going to divide this number by the number of students to get the average. The map method allows you to create a new array from the values of the original array. For example, it can convert circles into stars. It takes in a callback function, the return value of which is going to determine how the new array is going to look like. In this example, you can see I'm converting an array of objects into an array of strings. The flat function is going to create a new array with all the subarrays concatenated into it. It is a very helpful function if you work with tree data structures and you want to flatten your tree nodes. It takes in the parameter depth, which determines how deep a nested array structure should be flattened. In the first example, we flattened only one depth. This is why there was still an array of 32 inside. If I pass in a parameter 2, then this array of 32 will also be flattened. The flatMap method uses a map and then a flat function for every array element, but it is faster than applying them separately. For example, we can convert this array of sentences into an array of words. Using a single map function is going to turn it into 3 arrays, while using a flat map is going to flatten those arrays into an array of words. This was 10 JavaScript array methods. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as I have almost reached my goal of 1 million subscribers.